That, my friends, is the sound of money. This is Lou, your rideshare coach.
Well, hello everybody. Checking in with you guys with a particular thing in mind. Wanted to get right to it. The title of this one is My Very First Time. Now, I couldn't help resist but poking at this. There's an old soul song from back in the day where a woman is singing about her very first time, but this is obviously definitely related to ride sharing. Just poking a little fun with the title of it, okay? So obviously now, I want to talk about my very first time getting out and driving. I can remember going through the process, and let me backtrack. When I started driving 4 years ago, there was nothing for me to compare Lyft to outside of any experience with a taxi cab. There was no Lyft in my world. There was no Uber. Never heard of either one of them, right? So I'm on Facebook one day looking for an opportunity, in need of something, was at a particular place, financially speaking, and just looking for something that would fit. And I saw this ad talk about, hey, make your own hours, your own schedule, make up to 20, 25, or maybe it said $30 an hour, stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, well, let me click here. I fill out a form. So, okay, I'm understanding. I watched a video, and the video gave me a good idea of what was going on, right? Using my car kind of like a taxi service, picking up people, giving them fist bumps, dropping them off, and I'll be paid per ride. Like, okay, let's check it out. So I fill out the application, and about 2 hours later, I got an email back from the company asking me, my documents. So I'm uploading my documents. This is way before we were fancy and you could do all that stuff in the app. So I uploaded I attached my documents to the email, and not long from it, maybe a couple of days afterwards, my background check came back positive. I'm sorry, negative, right? Negative background check, which means there was nothing that hindered me from driving, as far as my and there was no criminal activity in my history ever. So let me clear that up. All right. So I'm open to drive. I got to go ahead. And, I tell my mom about it. She's like, are you sure this is safe? And I'm kind of like, yeah, this is safe. Like, how do I know? Well, you can walk outside your front door and it's not safe. I wasn't pressed over that matter. But what kept coming to mind is like, the reality of what was about to take place. I'm saying to myself, and these are my thoughts. So you're telling me that I'm going to turn this app on. I'm supposed to just sit someplace and wait, and somebody out there in Nashville is going to punch that button and request a ride for me. I'm going to pick them up, drop them off, and get paid. Yeah, right. Just my cynical side taking over, right? So it was one evening, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. I drive someplace near downtown Nashville. I pull over in a spot, and I turn the app on, and I sit. And my attention got diverted to something else I was doing, probably on the phone, checking email or doing something like that, or reading something, right? And I get this alert, the one you heard at the top of this podcast. And I'm like, okay, it's happening. Tick, tick, tick. Wait a minute, it's happening. Tick, tick, tick. Punch the button. Tap. Okay, accept the ride. Okay, it says tap here. Okay, I'm navigating. Okay, I'm on my way. So I'm driving. Kind of right around the corner from me. I pull up. Out comes a gentleman from this motorcycle repair shop. He's a mechanic. He hurt his foot. I drive a SUV. Can seat up to 7 people. Yes, up to 7 people. And fortunate, there was plenty of room on my vehicle. He was on crutches. He had hurt his foot. He was still able to work, but he had to sit down. And he got in. I made sure he was secure and comfortable, best I could. I took him across to East Nashville, dropped him off. And I remember reading the instructions or listening to the videos. Okay, after the ride's over, and really it kind of made sense what's on the screen. You picking up? Yes, I picked up the person. Are you ready to drop off? Yes, I'm dropping the person off. Okay, are you confirming that you're dropping the person off? Yes, he's dropped off. That was over, and I made maybe $7-8 on that ride, and I was like, oh, this is real, so that kind of encapsulates my first experience just overall. When it came to driving, even up front, there was a degree of nervousness, or just kind of uncertain, right? Because you just don't know. And many times we assume the worst. Sadly to say, that's human nature, right? And it's almost like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I used to tell people with Lyft, I kept waiting for the gotcha moment. Like, okay, this is too easy. I don't have to call in sick. I don't have to find somebody to work my schedule for me. I don't have to ask permission to work. This is all me. Like, okay, right? And so it was just a new thing, right? And what I learned, despite my cynicism, despite my waiting for the other shoe to drop, and as I tell people, the other shoe never dropped. Now, that's not to say that this has been a perfect experience for me. There have been decisions and things that Lyft had decided to do that I didn't agree with, but I respected their decision. At the end of the day, Lyft has always been fair. Okay, guys, out of respect for your time, I'm going to pull up right here in this story. I broke this up into two parts because I don't want to burn your ears with just me talking. But if you're interested, go right now. You should be able to find part 2 of my very first time, this first podcast for MyRideShare Coach. So see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Thanks.